أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. غلبت الروم في أدنى الأرض وهم من بعد غلبهم سيغلبون في بضع سنين لله الأمر من قبل ومن بعد ويومئذ يفرح المؤمنون بنصر الله ينصر من يشاء وهو العزيز الرحيم. وعد الله لا يخلف الله وعده ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. نستغفر الله ربنا من كل ذنب ونتوب اليك. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير. يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. اللهم يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alright, so Surah Ar-Rum, Surah number 30. So Surah Rum is revealed during the Hijrah to Abyssinia, and this Surah was revealed 5 years after prophethood. So 5 years after the Prophet became a prophet, this Surah was revealed. And this Surah is called Rum, means the Romans, because the beginning of the Surah predicts something about the Romans. So what happened is, during this time, the Romans were completely annihilated, completely destroyed by the Persians. In that time, there's two superpowers were the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire. So the Persians came and completely destroyed and took away their cross and all of these things, completely annihilated. At that time, the Quran was revealed saying that Rome is going to overpower the other. Like it will come successful. It will become powerful in bid'i sinin, in 3 to 9 years. And this is one of the miracles of the Quran. And a lot of the mushrikeen started making fun of the Muslims. Quran is saying in bid'i sinin, Romans will be overpowered. How is that possible? So some of them start having bet with the Sahabas, like Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu had a bet saying that, okay, if Muslims do not win, then I'm gonna give this, everything will be yours. So they all started doing that, and that's the context of this. And that actually the prophecy actually came true, that within 3 to 9 years, Bidr means 3 to 9 years. Within that time, the Romans did overpower the Persians, and it was the same day the Muslims were victorious in Badr. So that day they had 2 victories, Badr and then also the Roman Empire winning. So something you have to know, that Muslims were closer to the Romans and the Mushrikeen of Makkah were closer to the Persians, because Muslims and the Romans, they both are people of the book. They worship one God. Romans were the Christians, so they were closer to Islam than the Mushrikeen, than the idolaters. And so the Mushrikeen of Makkah were siding with the Persians. And so when Persians were victorious, it was as if the Mushrikeen are victorious. And then when the Persians are defeated, then it's as if Muslims are victorious. So that same day Badr was won, the Romans also became victorious. So begin inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif Lam Mim, huruf al-muqatta'at, we don't know what they mean. Ghulibat ar-Rum, Rome has been defeated. Fi adna al-ard, in a near land around in Syria and Palestine. Wahum min ba'di ghalabihim sayaghlibun, and they after being defeated will become victorious. Fi bid'i sinin, in few years, which refers to 3 to 9 years. Lillahi al-amr, to Allah is the command. Min qablu wa min ba'd, before and after. Wa yawmaidhi yafrahu al-mu'minun, and on that day, when Rome is victorious, the believers will be delighted. So when the Romans were actually victorious, the Romans were happy. At the same time, the believers were also happy that the people of the book won and they overpowered the Persians. بِنَصْرِ by the help of Allah, they will overpower. يَنْصُرُ مَنْ يَشَاء, He helps whomever He wills. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الرَّحِيمُ, and Allah is Almighty and most merciful. وَعَدَ اللَّهِ, it is a promise of Allah. لَا يُخْلِفُ اللَّهُ وَعَدَهُ, Allah's promise never fails. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but most men do not know. يَعْلَمُونَ من الحياة الدنيا, most people know this worldly life. وهم عن الآخرة هم غافلون, and they are completely heedless of the hereafter. Ayah number 8, Surah Rum. أولم يتفكروا في أنفسهم. Don't they reflect over themselves? ما خلق الله السماوات والأرض وما بينهما إلا بالحق وأجل مسمى. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create the heavens and the earth and whatever is in between them except with purpose, except with the truth, and for a set time. وَإِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِنَ النَّاسِ بِلِقَاءِ رَبِّهِمْ لَكَافِرُونَ. But most people are disbelievers in the meeting of their master. أَوَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Didn't they traverse in the land and see? فَيَنْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Didn't they look at the end of those people who came before them? كانوا أشد منهم قوة. The people before us, the nations that were destroyed, they are much stronger than us. وأثاروا الأرض. And they had a lot of cultivation, a lot of presence in this land. وعمروها أكثر مما عمروها. And they populated, their population and the time they lived was much more than you are living. وجاءتهم رسلهم بالبينات. And messages came to them with the truth. فما كان الله ليظلمهم. But Allah was not the one to wrong them. وَلَكِنْ أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. But they wronged themselves. So when the messengers came, they were destroyed, and Allah is saying it's not Allah, it's themselves. ثُمَّ كَانَ عَاقِبَةَ الَّذِينَ أَسَاءُوا السُّوءَ. Then the end of those people who do evil is evil. أن كذبوا بآيات الله. For they disbelieved in the signs of Allah. وكانوا بها يستهزئون. And they used to make fun of Him. الله يبدأ الخلق ثم يعيد. Allah is the one who starts the creation and then He repeats it. ثم إليه ترجعون. Then to Him you shall be returned. ويوم تقوم الساعة. And when the day shall come, when the day of judgment comes, يبلس المجرمون. The sinful people will be silenced. Will be silenced with grief and despair. They will not speak. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُمْ مِنْ شُرَكَائِهِمْ شُفَعَاءُ. And they will not have any intercessors from their partners. وَكَانُوا بِشُرَكَائِهِمْ كَافِرِينَ. And those partners are going to disbelieve in whatever they were doing. وَيَوْمَ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةِ. And on that day, when the hour will come, the day of judgment comes, يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَفَرَّقُونَ. They will be separated. Everybody will be separated from their false gods. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. As for those who had iman, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And did righteous deeds, فَهُمْ فِي رَوْضَةٍ يُحْبَرُونَ. They will be in gardens and they will be extremely happy. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. As for those who disbelieve, وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا وَلِقَاءِ الْآخِرَةِ. And they denied our signs and the meeting of the hereafter, فَأُولَٰئِكَ فِي الْعَذَابِ مُحْضَرُونَ. They will be brought in front for the punishment. فَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ. So glorify and sanctify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. حِينَ تُمْسُونَ. When you enter the evening, وَحِينَ تُصْبِحُونَ. When you enter the morning. Based on this ayah, we do the morning evening azkar. Right? Allah is saying, when you enter the morning, حِينَ تُمْسُونَ. When you enter the evening, glorify Allah. And when you enter the morning, glorify Allah. That's why we say, أَصْبَحْنَا عَلَى فِطْرَةِ الْإِسْلَامِ. We have entered the morning on the fitrah of Islam. Or we say, أَمْسَيْنَا عَلى فِطْرَةِ الْإِسْلَامِ. We have entered the evening on the fitrah of Allah on Islam. وَلَهُ الْحَمْدُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. To Him belongs all praise in the heavens and the earth. وَعَشِيًّا. And in the night. وَحِينَ تُظْهِرُونَ. And when you are working in the daytime. Alhamdulillah. It's going to be a tough day for me today. يخرج الحي من الميت. And He brings out the living from the dead. ويخرج الميت من الحي. And He brings out the dead from the living. ويحيي الأرض بعد موتها. Allah gives life to the earth after it's dead. وكذلك تخرجون. And that is how He will bring you out of the earth when you are dead. Just like you see the earth barren and plants come out, just like that when you die, when you become soiled, barren, and then Allah will bring you out from the earth. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. And amongst His miraculous signs, or that أَنْ خَلَقَكُم مِّن تُرَابٍ. That He created you from dust. ثُمَّ إِذَا أَنْتُمْ بَشَرٌ تَنْتَشِرُونَ. And here you are, then He made you into humankind, spread out all over the world. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. And amongst His miraculous signs, أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. that He created spouses for you from amongst you. That our spouses are not some aliens, but they are from humankind. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. This is the ayah on marriage. What is the purpose of marriage? Allah says, so you can have peace and tranquility with them, with your spouses. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And He has placed love and mercy between the two. Imagine two people who have never seen each other come together forever. And this is only because Allah has put that mawaddah and love between the two in affection. Without Allah, it is not possible. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Verily in it are many miraculous signs for a nation that reflects. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. And amongst His miraculous signs, خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, is the creation of the heavens and the earth. وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. And also the diversity of your tongues and your colors. That different languages and different colors are all Allah's signs. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْعَالِمِينَ. Verily in it is many miraculous signs for the people of knowledge. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. And amongst His miraculous signs, مَنَامُكُمْ بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ, is your sleep by night and day. وَابْتِغَاؤُكُمْ مِنْ فَضْلٍ. And you seeking His favor. That's also another sign, that He gives you sleep in the night, and also you sometimes doze off in the daytime. It's all from Allah's sign. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَسْمَعُونَ. Verily in it are miraculous signs for a nation that listens. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. And amongst His miraculous sign, يُرِيكُمُ الْبَرْقَ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا. He shows you the lightning as fear and hope. وَيُنَزِّلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. And He sends down water from the sky. فَيُحْيِي بِهِ الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا. Which gives life to the earth after it's dead. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. Verily in it are many miraculous signs for a nation that understands. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. And amongst His miraculous signs, أَن تَقُومَ السَّمَاءُ وَالْأَرْضُ بِأَمْرِهِ, is the sky and earth that are held, and they are firm by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His command. ثُمَّ إِذَا دَعَاكُمْ دَعْوَةً مِنَ الْأَرْضِ إِذَا أَنْتُمْ تَخْرُجُونَ. Then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes one call to the earth, then all of you will come out of it. That the day of judgment will happen. وَلَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. To Him belongs whoever is in the heavens and the earth. كُلُّ لَهُ قَانِتُونَ. And every single thing is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُ. Allah is the one who initiates the creation, ثُمَّ يُعِيدُ, and then He repeats it. وَهُوَ أَهْوَنُ عَلَيْهِ. And it's easy for Allah to do that. وَلَهُ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And to Allah belongs the best of examples in the heavens and the earth. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Allah is Almighty and All-Wise. ضَرَبَ لَكُمْ مَثَلًا مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. Allah gives you an example from yourself. هَلْ لَكُمْ مِمَّا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ مِنْ شُرَكَاءَ فِيمَا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ فَأَنْتُمْ فِيهِ سَوَاءٌ. Do you have any slaves who share their wealth with you? That is there anybody فِيمَا رَزَقَكُمْ فَأَنْتُمْ فِيهِ سَوَاءٌ. Do you share the wealth that you have? Do you share with your slaves, with one of your slaves that you have, so that you become equal? Is that possible? Do you do that? تَخَافُونَهُمْ كَخِيفَتِكُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Fearing like the fearing of yourself. So what happens, Allah here is saying, this is Allah first brings an example of saying that you have slaves. Do you give them all your wealth so that you and your slaves become equal? You don't share your things with your slaves. So how can you say that Allah has partners and they all equal in their dominion and in their ownership? You know, the Quraysh would say, لَبَّيْكَ اللَّهُمَّ لَبَّيْكَ لَبَّيْكَ لَا شَرِيكَ لَكَ لَبَّيْكَ إِلَّا شَرِيكًا هُوَ لَكَ تَمْلِكُهُ وَمَا مَلَكَ. They would say that there is no one, we respond to you, there is no sharik with you except one partner. You have one partner with you, Ya Allah, you own that partner. So Allah is saying, you do all these crazy things and attribute these partners and things to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you yourself don't do it with your own slaves. كَذَلِكَ نُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. And that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies the ayat for a nation that understands. But those people who wrong, they follow their desires without any knowledge. فَمَنْ يَهْدِي مَنْ أَضَلَّ اللَّهُ. Who will guide the one whom Allah misguides? وَمَا لَهُم مِّن نَاصِرِينَ. And He has no helper. Ayah number 30, Surah Rum. فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا. So face and direct yourself to the religion, to this religion of Hanif. a true monotheist, there's no shirk in it. فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا, the nature of Allah which He has created the man on. This fitrah, this deen is on it's a deen of fitrah. It's on the natural instinct of humankind. فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ, you will not find any change in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ, that is the upright, firm deen. What does that mean? That this deen is based on Tawheed, the foundation is strong, and this is a deen for the sake of Allah, and this is a deen whose center is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and does not have any sex in it. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but most people do not know. مُنِيبِينَ إِلَيْهِ, turn to Him in repentance. وَاتَّقُوا, and be afraid of Him and fear Him. وَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ, and establish salah. وَلَا تَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, and never be of the polytheists, those who do shirk. مِنَ الَّذِينَ فَرَّقُوا دِينَهُمْ وَكَانُوا شِيَعًا, and who are these mushrikeen? They are those people who split the deen into different sects and groups. كُلُّ حِزْبٍ بِمَا لَدَيْهِمْ فَرِحُونَ, and every group is happy with whatever they're doing. So they split the group and they have their own imams and their own groups, and they are happy in whatever they believe in. Those are the mushrikeen. Allah says, وَإِذَا مَسَّ النَّاسِ, and when وَإِذَا مَسَّ النَّاسَ ضُرٌّ, when anything harm touches mankind, دَعَوْا رَبَّهُمْ مُنِيبِينَ إِلَيْهِ, when something bad happens to us, we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seeking His forgiveness. ثُمَّ إِذَا أَذَاقَهُمْ مِنْهُ رَحْمَةً, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes them taste His mercy and the good things, إِذَا فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ بِرَبِّهِمْ يُشْرِكُونَ, then a group of them commit shirk. With the same blessing Allah has given them, they deny it and they do shirk with it. لِيَكْفُرُوا بِمَا آتَيْنَاهُمْ, and they become ungrateful for what Allah has given them. فَتَمَتَّعُوا, so enjoy. فَسَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ, soon you will know. أَمْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانًا, or أَمْ أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانًا فَهُوَ يَتَكَلَّمُ بِمَا كَانُوا بِهِ يُشْرِكُونَ, or did we send an authority on them that testifies to the truth of shirk? Right? Do they have any authority? Do they have any proof that the shirk, what they're doing, is from Allah and there's any basis to it? وَإِذَا أَذَقْنَا النَّاسَ رَحْمَةً فَرِحُوا بِهَا, if something good happens at a mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the humankind taste His mercy, He's extremely happy. وَإِن تُصِبُهُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ, and if some evil touches him, بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ, because of his own actions, إِذَا هُمْ يَقْنَطُونَ, and he is despaired. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا, don't they see, أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ, that it is Allah who can provide whom He wills and restrict from whom He wills. When the job is good, when it's good time, you're happy. When things become bad, when calamity comes, we start saying to Allah, Ya Allah, why did you do this? Allah is saying, no, Allah is the one, everything is in His control. He can give it to whom He wants, He can restrict from whom He wants. You have to be satisfied with Allah's decision. That is what makes us radiallahu anhum wa radu an. Like the Sahabas, when they were happy with whatever Allah did. So Allah saying, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ, verily in it are many miraculous signs for a nation that believe. And Allah says, فَآتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ وَالْمِسْكِينَ, so give your close relatives their right, and to the poor people and to the travelers. So here what we see is that Allah is saying, give to the poor people their right. It's not when we give to our close relatives or poor people or travelers, we think that we're doing a favor. Allah is saying, no, it's their right. It's not a favor. You have to do it. It's a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't do it, you'll be punished. It's not like if I don't do it, I'll be okay. No, you're not favoring. حَقَّهُ, it's their due. You have to give. ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ, that is better for the one who desires for Allah's countenance and Allah's pleasure. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ, those are the successful ones. Ayah number 39, Surah Rum. وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّن رِبًا لِيَرْبُوَ فِي أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ فَلَا يَرْبُو عِندَ اللَّهِ, and whatever usury and riba that you give, that you pay, thinking that it will increase in wealth, know that it does not increase in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, that riba might increase in your bank account, in your calculation, it might increase, but in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it does not. فَلَا يَرْبُو عِندَ اللَّهِ, it does not increase. وَمَا آتَيْتُم مِّن زَكَاةٍ, but whatever zakah you give, تُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ, desiring Allah's pleasure, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُضْعِفُونَ, those are the things that are multiplied in the sight of Allah subhanahu subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu alladhi khalaqakum. Allah is the one who created you. Thumma razaqakum. Then He is going to provide you. That you are indulging in all these things, thinking that you won't have any provision, that you won't have any shelter. Allah is saying, I provide you for it. Thumma yumitukum. Then He's going to cause you to die. Thumma yuhyikum. And then He will give you life to ask you for what you did. Hal min shurakaikum man yaf'alu min dhalika min shay. Do you have any partners, any other idols, anybody who can do what Allah can do? Subhana, glory to Him. Wa ta'ala amma yushrikun. Exalted, high is above. What Allah is high above everything that you associate. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Allah saying that mischief in the land and sea, in the land and sea, corruption in the land and sea has appeared, has manifested itself because of what people have done. You know, when we see earthquakes, when we see tsunami, when we see these floods and destruction in the land, ozone layer being ripped, all these things, Allah is saying that's because of people's mischief in the land. So when the calamities, things happen in the earth because of our own doings, of our own sins. You know, when earthquakes comes, that's because of people's sins. That's where earthquakes come. And we see all these destruction come because of people when they cross their boundaries, and Allah sends us. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Why do these things happen? So Allah can make them taste the punishment of their own actions, so that they return to Allah, so that at least He gives them a smaller, in the next surah I'll talk about, in Surah as-Sajdah actually, that Allah gives them a smaller punishment before the greater punishment, so that you return to it. So that's what Allah is saying here. قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Go and travel in the land. فَانظُرُوا. Look كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. Look at the end of those people before you. And all these people were destroyed because of their own sins. كَانُوا أَكْثَرَهُم مُشْرِكِينَ. And most of them were doing shirk. فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ الْقَيِّمِ. So set your face, focus on لِلدِّينِ الْقَيِّمِ, on the straight, firm deen. مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ يَوْمٌ لَا مَرَدَّ لَهُ مِنَ اللَّهِ. Before a day comes when no one can return from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like from that day, from the hisab of that day. يَوْمَئِذٍ يَصَّدَّعُونَ. On that day, they will be separated. Meaning today, you have the people of Tawheed and the people of Shirk. Today you have people of Tawheed and people of Shirk together. On that day, everybody will be separated. People of Iman will be separated. You know, today you might have family members living together, but one family member is more practicing than other doesn't even care. Today they have to live together. You cannot cut off from them. But on the day of judgment, يَصَّدَّعُونَ. They will be separated. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَعَلَيْهِ كُفْرُ. Whoever disbelieves, he will bear the burden of that disbelief himself. وَمَنْ عَمِلَ صَالِحًا. And whoever did righteous deeds, فَلِأَنفُسِهِمْ يَمْهَدُونَ. Then they will have a cradle for them. They are preparing a cradle for them. What that means is, cradle is used for comfort and peace and tranquility, right? A baby is in the cradle, meaning they will have a place in Jannah, a good place in Jannah. يَمْهَدُونَ لِيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. So that Allah may reward those people who believe, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ مِنْ فَضْلٍ. And did righteous deeds with His favor. إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْكَافِرِينَ. Verily Allah does not like the disbelieving nation. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ. And amongst His signs, أَن يُرْسِلَ الرِّيَاحَ مُبَشِّرَاتٍ. That He sends the winds as good news. وَلِيُذِيقَهُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ. Before His mercy comes. That Allah sends the winds as He sends the winds before the rain comes down. Similarly, He sent the Prophet ﷺ before the Quran came down. لِيُذِيقَهُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ وَلِتَجْرِيَ الْفُلْكُ بِأَمْرِهِ. And He makes a ship move in the sea with His permission. وَلِتَبْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. So that you may seek the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. So that you may express gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ رُسُلًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِمْ. And we have sent before you many messengers to their nation. فَجَاءُهُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. So they came to them with clear proofs. فَانْتَقَمْنَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ أَجْرَمُوا. And we retributed, we avenged, and we destroyed those people who committed sins. وَكَانَ حَقًّا عَلَيْنَا نَصْرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. It is mandated on us, it's obligatory on us that we help the believers. Right? Allah الذي يرسل الرياح. Allah is the one who sends the winds فتثير سحابا, so that it can move the clouds, فيبسطه في السماء, and he spreads them in the sky كيف يشاء, however he wills, ويجعله كسفا, and then he makes them into pieces, فترى الودق يخرج من خلاله, and you see rain coming down from these clouds, فإذا أصاب به من يشاء, and whomever he wills, he makes it fall upon min ibadi, from his servants. Whomever he wills, he makes the rain come down. إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ, and they are happy. You know, this is a regular thing, daily phenomena. We see the rain, we see the clouds, we see the sun, moon, winds. All of these things Allah wants to reflect, and this is Allah's doing. وَإِن كَانُوا مِن قَبْلُ, ayah number 49, Surah Rum. وَإِن كَانُوا مِن قَبْلِ أَن يُنَزَّلَ عَلَيْهِم مِن قَبْلِهِ لَمُبْلِسِينَ, and they were, before it is sent down, they are in despair. They are mublis. فَانظُرْ كَيْفَ آثَارِ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ, look at the effects of Allah's mercy. كَيْفَ يُحْيِي الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا, how He gives life to the dead land. إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى, verily He is capable of giving life to the dead. So Allah is saying, by bringing so many times, He's bringing dead earth, life, dead earth, life, water, all of this to show that Allah is capable of doing to the entire creation. You are Allah's creation, so you will also be brought out on the Day of Judgment when He wants. لَمُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ, and He has power over all things. وَلَئِنْ أَرْسَلْنَا رِيحًا, and وَلَئِنْ أَرْسَلْنَا رِيحًا فَرَأَوْهُ مُصْفَرًّا لَظَلُّوا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ يَكْفُرُونَ, and if we send the wind, a hot wind that turns the cultivation into yellow, all these green crops become yellow, and they fly off in front of them, these disbelievers will still not accept it. This is to show that they are min ba'dihi yakfurun, means they become ungrateful and they blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what happens is this illusion here, that when the Prophet came to the people and everything became green, everything became lush green, and when they did not accept it and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them, they start blaming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it, right? So Allah is using the creation to show what happens in the metaphorical sense. لَظَلُّوا مِن بَعْدِهِ يَكْفُرُونَ, that they blame Allah for their destruction. فَإِنَّكَ لَا تُسْمِعُ الْمَوْتَى, verily you cannot make the dead listen to you. وَلَا تُسْمِعُ الصُّمَّ, and you cannot make the deaf listen to you. الدُّعَاءَ إِذَا وَلَّوْا مُدْبِرِينَ, you cannot make the deaf listen to your call when he's turning away from it. وَمَا أَنْتَ بِهَادِ الْعُمْيِ عَنْ ضَلَالَتِهِمْ, and neither can you guide the blind out of their error. إِن تُسْمِعُ إِلَّا مَن يُؤْمِنُ بِآيَاتِنَا فَهُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ, and إِن تُسْمِعُ إِلَّا مَن يُؤْمِنُ بِآيَاتِنَا فَهُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ, and you can only make the believers who believe in our ayat listen to your message. فَهُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ, as they are submissive to Allah. اللَّهُ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن ضَعْفٍ, Allah is the one who created you out of weakness. ثُمَّ جَعَلَ مِن بَعْدِ ضَعْفٍ قُوَّةً, and from that weakness He made you strong. That imagine when you're born, when you are a baby, you are weak. You have nobody, you cannot feed yourself, you cannot walk by yourself, you cannot go to the washroom yourself, you cannot do anything yourself. So you're so weak, you're completely dependent on your parents. Then ثُمَّ جَعَلَ مِن بَعْدِ قُوَّةٍ ضَعْفٍ قُوَّةٍ, then after you are weak, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes you strong, and you're able to walk around and argue with your parents and say that you did nothing, you did nothing in my life, you have not done any favor. He becomes strong. ثُمَّ جَعَلَ مِن بَعْدِ قُوَّةٍ ضَعْفًا, and after he is strong, he becomes weak. وَشَيْبًا, and then he becomes old. يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ, Allah creates whatever He wills. وَهُوَ الْعَلِيمُ الْقَدِيرُ, Allah is all-knowing and fully capable. وَيَوْمَ تَقُومُ السَّاعَةُ, and when the hour comes, when the Day of Judgment comes, يُقْسِمُ الْمُجْرِمُونَ, the sinful people, the criminals, will swear, مَا لَبِثُوا غَيْرَ سَاعَةٍ, they will say that we only stayed for 1 hour in this dunya. كَذَلِكَ كَانُوا يُؤْفَكُونَ, and that is how they are deluded, that they will not believe how long they stayed. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ وَالْإِيمَانِ, the people of knowledge and people of Iman, they will say, لَقَدْ لَبِثْتُمْ فِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْبَعْثِ, no, indeed you lived according to what Allah has planned you in this dunya until the Day of Judgment. You lived by what Allah has planned you in His book. فَهَذَا يَوْمُ الْبَعْثِ, this is the Day of Resurrection. وَلَكِنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, but you did not, you're refusing it, you did not knew about it. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ, or you knew it or you didn't care about it. فَيَوْمَئِذٍ, So on that day, لا ينفع الذين ظلموا معذرتهم. On that day, the excuses of the people who wrong will not benefit them. ولا هم يستعتبون. And they will not be allowed to make any changes. Right? Neither will any excuse will be accepted from them, nor will they get any chance to change their deeds in the book of deeds. وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ. And we have given to all kinds of examples in this Quran for the people. وَلَئِنْ جِئْتَهُمْ. And if you bring them بِآيَةٍ, if you bring them a sign that they want, لَيَقُولَنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا مُبْطِلُونَ. That after looking at the sign, they will say that you are people who are following falsehood. كَذَلِكَ يَطْبَعُ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And that is how Allah seals the heart of those who do not know. That when you do not know, when you do not care to know anything, Allah seals your heart and they will not be able to understand or perceive. You see some Muslims today, they are still looking for ayat. Like, why doesn't Allah show ayat? Because your eyes are blinded to the ayat already there. There are ayat in front of you, behind you, all around you, above you. Look at the creation, look at history, look at the Quran. What else is there? In front is ayah, and behind this ayah, above this ayah. So Allah says in Surah Yasin, وَجَعَلَ مِن بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ سَدًّا وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. There's covering the front, that you can't see the ayat, the sun, the moon, and all the creation you cannot see, or the Quran, and you cannot see the history, learn from it, or the revelation from top is not benefiting you. So Allah seals their heart because they didn't care to know about it. فَاصْبِرْ. Be patient with them. إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ. Verily Allah's promise is true. وَلَا يَسْتَخِفَنَّكَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. And though people who don't believe, let them not weaken you and stop you in your mission. Be patient and know that Allah's promise is coming. This is the Meccan surah. And in the beginning of the surah, Allah promised that Rome will overpower the other. And that's a promise. Allah says, وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ. That came true. And Allah is saying, end of the surah, you will also overpower these weak people who are trying to stop you. So that brings us to Surah Rum, end of Surah Rum. Inshallah, move on to the next surah, Surah Luqman. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Surah Luqman is a Makki surah, and Luqman is named after a wise person in the past. His name was Luqman. So he was not a prophet, he was known for his wisdom. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to capture him in the Quran and highlight few things. He gave an amazing advice to his son. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved this advice and He put it part of this book until the end of times. So what we see from here is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at the people, whether they are prophets, whether they are from this group or that group. As long as there's goodness inside you, Allah will use that. Right? Allah will use it for His deen. So we should also look for the same thing. We should not look for, okay, this person does not belong to my country, I cannot listen to him. Or no, anywhere there's good, there's khair, you take it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. These are huruf al-muqatta'at. We don't know what they mean. Tilka ayatul kitab al-hakim. These are the ayat of a wise book full of wisdom. And we're talking about Luqman the Hakim. So this begins, a book full of wisdom. Hudan wa rahmatan lil muhsinin. It is a guidance and mercy for the righteous people. Who are these people? Alladhina yuqimuna salah. They are those who establish salah wa yu'tuna zakah and give in the hereafter. Only these people will be able to benefit and see the mercy in this book. Ulaika ala hudan min rabbihim. Those are the ones who are on guidance from their master. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Those are the ones who are successful. As if you're reading Surah Baqarah, right? All over, right? Same message being repeated. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ. But among the people are those مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ. Are those people who buy lahwa al-hadith, distraction of talks. This refers to music and songs and any kind of distraction. They purchase these things. And Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anh, he says that this refers to music and songs. Why? Because it engages a person in useless things. Anything that takes you out of your, out of focus and takes you in distracted, useless things has no benefit. Does not benefit you physically. There's no intellectual stimulation. Nothing is happening. That those are all lahwa al-hadith. They buy and sell. They purchase lahwa al-hadith. Why? لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. To mislead the people from the straight path. بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. Without any knowledge. وَيَتَّخِذَهَا هُزُوًا. And they take it as a joke. And the Prophet ﷺ says that from my people, they will come. There will be some people who will say, who will make zina, music, silk, musical instruments, everything halal. Right? He says, they will say there's difference, they will bring justification to say that these things are all okay. And these are the things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says they sell to stray the people away from the straight path. So when you're in a movie, for example, and it's time for salah, what happens to you? A lot of times we're just distracted, you don't want to, right? A lot of the things within the movies are what? Things against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Whether the woman is not covering, or the thing itself is not right, it's not, there's no khair in it. Your time is precious. Every second that goes by, you're heading towards your grave, and you're either adding good deed or adding bad deeds. So your time, that entire time is wasted on useless things. So here we see that this surah is going to talk about an advice of a father to a son. And before even getting to the advice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, you should get rid of these distractions. Right? All these things from your home, and when you are away from these distractions, then the advice and the tarbiyah will have an effect. وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُنَا, and when the ayat are recited onto them, وَلَّا مُسْتَكْبِرًا, they turn away in arrogance, كَأَن لَّمْ يَسْمَعْهَا, as if they did not hear it, كَأَنَّ فِي أُذُنَيْهِ وَقْرًا, as if there is deafness in his ears. فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ, so give him the good news of a painful punishment. You know, a scholar in the past, he said that two things cannot stay in the same heart. Two things cannot stay together in the same heart simultaneously, and that is music and Quran. Music and Quran cannot. If one enters, the other has to leave. That when you have the desire and the pleasure, you get pleasure in listening to that, then there is no khair. The Quran will not stay in that part. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, indeed those people who have iman, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and do good deeds, لَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ النَّعِيمِ, they will have gardens of bliss, خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا, they will remain in it forever and ever. وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقًّا, it is Allah's promise. Allah's promise is true. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ, Allah's almighty and all-wise. خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ بِغَيْرِ عَمَدٍ تَرَوْنَهَا, Allah created the heavens and the earth without any pillars that you can see. وَأَلْقَى فِي الْأَرْضِ رَوَاسِيَ أَن تَمِيدَ بِكُمْ, and He placed the mountains so that they do not shake. وَبَثَّ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ دَابَّةٍ, and He has scattered all kinds of creatures on the land. وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and He sent down water from the sky. فَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ زَوْجٍ كَرِيمٍ, through that water it gives rise to different crops and vegetation. مِن كُلِّ زَوْجٍ كَرِيمٍ, of noble sort. هذا خلق الله, this is the creation of Allah. فَأَرُونِي مَاذَا خَلَقَ الَّذِينَ مِن دُونِي, show me the things that others have created. Show me the things that your gods have created. This is the creation of Allah. Show me what your gods have created. بَلِ الظَّالِمُونَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ, but the transgressors are in clear error. Number 12, Surah Luqman. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ, and indeed we gave Luqman al-Hikmah, Luqman rahimahullah, wisdom. Al-Hikmah, Anishkur Lillah, that you should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what does it mean, wisdom? What is wisdom? Wisdom is to say the right thing at the right time to the right people. And so here we see Allah says in Surah Baqarah, يُؤْتِ الْحِكْمَةَ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا, that He gives wisdom to whom He wants, and whoever is given wisdom has been given a great goodness. So here we see He was given good hikmah, and the wisdom is what in this ayah is thanking Allah, that recognizing the blessings of Allah and thanking them, it is the highest level of wisdom. So anishkur lillah, you should express your gratitude towards Allah. وَمَن yashkur, and whoever is thankful, فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ, and he's only being thankful for himself, benefiting himself. وَمَن كَفَرَ, and whoever becomes ungrateful for Allah's blessings, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ, verily Allah is above want and He's all praiseworthy. وَإِذْ قَالَ Luqman, and when Luqman alayhi salam said to his son, to his son, وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ, as he was giving advice, Ya bunayya, oh my son, oh my beloved son. It's out of love. Here we see advice, when the father is advising the son, they should do it with full of love, not with anger, not with hate, but show your love. Ya bunayya, oh my son, mere pyare bete, la tushrik billah, do not set partners with Allah, do not do shirk with Allah. Inna shirka la dhulmun azim, verily shirk is a great sin, it is a great dhulm. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانِ, and then the first advice is don't do shirk, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now interjects and He talks about parents. The father is giving an advice to the son, and then here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking care of the parents, right, by interjecting and telling how should we take care of the parents. وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانِ, and we have enjoined on man بِوَالِدَيْهِ, regarding his parents. What should he do? What should he do is not mentioned, and he has mentioned this before, ihsan. And now he highlights why should you show ihsan to your parents. حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ, his mother carried him وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ, weakness upon weakness. That she is a woman, she's weak herself on her own, but on top of that, she carried the baby 9 months in the womb. And pregnancy, what happens in pregnancy? The woman becomes weak, that the child squeezes and takes away all the energy of the mother. How does the child become big in the womb? It is using the blood of the mother. So she becomes more and more weak. وَهْنًا عَلَى وَهْنٍ. And so, وَفِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And not only does she have to bear the son for 9 months or so, but on top of that, she has to breastfeed her for 2 years. فِصَالُهُ فِي عَامَيْنِ. And she becomes weaker in feeding that. فِي عَامَيْنِ أَنِشْكُرْ لِي. So you should thank me. وَلِوَالِدَيْكَ, and to your parents. وَإِلَيَّ الْمَصِيرِ. And to me is your return. What we see here is that He told the son to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the best way to thank Allah is taking care of your parents. Right? Taking care of the parents is the best shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you recognize the blessing of Allah, the blessings of parents on you. Without parents, you are nothing. You can't even exist in this world. A person came to the Prophet ﷺ and says, Ya Rasulullah, I want to go and do jihad and fight in Allah's path and give my life. The Prophet says, do you have parents? Are your parents alive? And so the man says, yes, go and take care of them. So he took care of them, he came back and says, Ya Rasulullah, what should I do next? Go and take care of them. Again, he said this 3 times, saying you should take care of your parents, you should take care of your parents. What we see is that taking care of our parents is higher than doing jihad and giving our life in Allah's path. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, recognizing the status of the parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this dua. And a man, came to Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh, and he says that I killed someone, what should I do? And so Ibn Abbas says, do you have your parents? If you have your parents, go and serve them. So he says, no, my parents have passed away. And then, so he says, what we see here, right from there, is that serving parents can remove our sins. Even major sins can be removed just serving parents. It's a big deal. And today we see the same kid who could not walk, who could not feed himself and herself, and that same kid gets up and argues and disobeys parents. This is the worst form of doing kufr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not doing shukr, right? That talking against parents, that this is what they said. And the best, anishkur li wa liwalidayka ilayya al-masir wa in jahadaka, and if they strive and if they force you ala an tushrika bi, to do shirk with me, ma laysa laka bihi ilm, what you don't have knowledge of, fala tudi'huma, do not follow them, wa sahibuhuma fi dunya ma'rufa, but accompany them with in this world with kindness. That if your parents, the only time you cannot follow them is when they call you to do shirk. Otherwise, you have to submit to them as if you are their servants, right? You are their servants, you have to treat them like kings and queens. And if they call you towards shirk, then you should not follow them, but still be good with them. وَصَاحِبُهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. That even to a non-Muslim mother, Allah is telling that you should be good to them. But how about a believing mother? How much good we have to be towards our believing mothers. فَالدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ. And follow a way so that so that he can turn in repentance to me. ثُمَّ إِلَيَّ مَرْجِعُكُمْ, to me you shall be returned. فَأُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, and I will inform you of the things that you used to do. يَا بُنَيَّ, O my beloved son, إِنَّهَا إِن تَكُ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ فَتَكُنْ فِي صَخْرَةٍ أَوْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. If there is a grain of mustard equal to the weight of an atom anywhere in a rock, hidden in any rock in the heavens and the earth, يَأْتِ بِهَا اللَّهُ, Allah will bring it out. Inna Allah latifun khabir, Allah is subtle and all aware. So now he's teaching the son that you should be conscious of Allah, that if you do a small deed and that deed is hidden somewhere in a rock, and that rock is somewhere in the heavens and the earth, imagine all the rocks in the world, and imagine there's a small speck inside that rock. Not only in the earth, in the heavens and the earth, anywhere, Allah can bring it out. So he's saying that you cannot hide from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya bunayya, O my son, aqim as-salah, establish salah, wa'mur bil ma'roof, command to good, wanha 'anil munkar, and stop from evil. What we see here is that salah should make us stand up for right and stop evil. That's what salah is supposed to do. Aqim as-salah, so wa'mur bil ma'roof, wanha 'anil munkar. When you stop people from doing evil, what will happen? You will have consequences. One, wasbir 'ala ma asabak, be patient over whatever comes on you. Inna dhalika min 'azmi al-umur, that is a strong matter. وَلَا تُصَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ, and do not turn in pride, do not turn your cheeks in pride. وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا, and do not walk in the land out of arrogance. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ, Allah does not like anybody who is self-conceited and arrogant. So, وَقْصِدْ فِي مَشْيِكَ وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ, and be modest in your walking. وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ, and lower your voice. إِنَّ أَنْكَ الْأَصْوَاتِ لَصَوْتُ الْحَمِيرِ, verily the most disgusting of voice is the voice of donkey. Alam tara, so this is advice of Luqman Hakim to his son. And what we see here is that he brings 2 points on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you should not do shirk and you should be conscious of Allah, and the rest of it is character. That focus your submission towards your parents. Don't be arrogant. Do not show off. Do not walk with humility on earth. Be modest. All of these things he's teaching on character. So as parents, we should focus on teaching our kids character. And the foundation is obviously Allah, that Allah is watching everything. And do not instill fear in them. That if you don't do this, this will happen. It's not all about punishment. Show them why they should do what they should do. And ayah number 20, Surah Luqman. Alam tara anna Allah sakhra lakum ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard. Didn't you look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made in service to you ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard, whatever is in the heavens and the earth, wa asbagha alaykum ni'amahu, and he has unleashed his favors on you, ظاهرة وباطنة, that which is visible and that which is hidden. That you see these favors visible and hidden. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, and among the people, مَنْ يُجَادِلُ فِي اللَّهِ, is the one who argues about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ, without any knowledge, وَلَا هُدًى وَلَا كِتَابٍ مُنِيرٍ, and he argues without any guidance or any book which is enlightening. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when it is said to them, اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ, follow what Allah has sent down, قَالُوا, they say, بَلْ نَتَّبِعُ مَا وَجَدْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا, they say that we will follow what came down on our forefathers. أَوَلَوْ كَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ يَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَىٰ عَذَابِ السَّعِيرِ, even if shaitan is calling them to a blazing fire, you'll follow your forefathers? You want to follow your forefathers, but what if shaitan is calling them to Jahannam? Will you still follow them? وَمَنْ يُسْلِمْ, and whoever submits وَجْهَهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَهُوَ مُحْسِنٌ, whoever submits his face to Allah and he is doing good deeds at the same time, فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى, and he has gotten hold of a support which is very, very strong. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ عَاقِبَةُ الْأُمُورِ, and to Allah all matters will be returned. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ, and whoever disbelieves, فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ كُفْرُ, then their disbelief should not make you sad. إِلَيْنَا مَرْجِعُهُمْ, to us they shall be returned. فَنُنَبِّئُهُمْ, and we will inform them بِمَا عَمِلُوا, of the things that they did. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ, verily Allah knows the secrets of their hearts. نُمَتِّعُهُمْ قَلِيلًا, we'll make them enjoy for a while. ثُمَّ نَضْطَرُّهُمْ إِلَىٰ عَذَابٍ غَلِيظٍ, and then we will force them and throw them into a severe punishment. judgment. وَلَئِن سَأَلْتَهُمْ, and if you ask them, مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهُ, who created the heavens and the earth? They would say, surely it's Allah. قُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ, then say, all praise and thanks is for Allah. بَلْ أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, but most people do not know. لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth. Inna Allah huwa al-Ghaniyyul Hamid. Verily Allah is above want and He is praiseworthy. وَلَوْ أَنَّمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ مِنْ شَجَرَةٍ أَقْلَامٍ, if all the trees in the land were to become pens, وَالْبَحْرُ, and the sea, يَمُدُّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ سَبْعَةُ أَبْحُرٍ, and if all the seas were to become ink, مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ, they will get exhausted in praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That if they were to start writing the praise of Allah, they will not completely praise Allah. The ink will run out, all the seas will run out, and all the pens will run out, but you can never truly praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah azizun hakim, verily Allah is almighty and all wise. مَا خَلْقُكُمْ وَلَا بَعْثُكُمْ إِلَّا كَنَفْسٍ وَاحِدًا, that it is so easy in Allah to make you, to resurrect you. It's like creating one soul. That Him giving life to you and resurrecting you is like giving life to one soul, because He's doing the same thing again. It's very easy. Inna Allah sami'un basir, verily Allah is all hearing and all seeing. Alam tara anna Allah yuliju al-layla fi an-nahar, didn't you see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the night and makes the night enter into the day? That how slowly you don't even realize, not a sudden switch. He makes the night enter into the day. وَيُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ, and He makes the day slowly enter into the night. وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ, and didn't you see how Allah has put the sun and moon for you in your service? كُلُّ يَجْرِي لِأَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى, each one of them is running on a set time, on a term that's appointed. إِلَى أَجْلٍ مُسَمَّى, until the day of judgment. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ, and that Allah is all aware of what you do. ذلك بأن الله هو الحق, that is because Allah is the truth. وأن ما يدعون من دونه الباطل, and whatever they call upon is falsehood. وأن الله هو العلي الكبير, and Allah is all exalted and great. ألم ترى أن الفلك تجري في البحر, number 31. أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ الْفُلْكَ تَجْرِي فِي الْبَحْرِ بِنِعْمَةِ اللَّهِ, didn't you see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the ship flow in the sea, مِنْ نِعْمَةِ اللَّهِ, by Allah's grace, لِيُرِيَكُمْ مِنْ آيَاتِهِ, so that you see, so that He may show you His signs. That you put a coin in the sea, it sinks, but how come a huge ship does not sink? Right? Allah has made all of these things, these physical laws, so that you're able to traverse and benefit from it. Inna fi dhalika laayatin likulli sabbarin shakur. In it are many, many miraculous signs for every one who is patient and who is grateful. Wa idha ghashiyahum mawjun, and if a mawjun kal-dhulal, if a wave comes like canopies on them, like huge waves come on them, da'awullah mukhlisina lahu-d-din, they call out on Allah sincerely worshipping Him without any partners. فَلَمَّا نَجَّاهُمْ إِلَى الْبَرِّ, and when He rescues them and they are safe in the sea and they go to the safe land, فَمِنْهُمْ مُقْتَصِدٌ, then they take a middle course. Then they are kind of battling between belief and disbelief. That when they are in difficulties, they are called on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they are safe, they just are like hypocrites in the middle. وَمَا يَجْحَدُ بِآيَاتِنَا إِلَّا كُلُّ خَدَّارٍ كَفُورٍ, and no one denies our signs except someone who is deceitful and someone who is a disbeliever. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ, O mankind, اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ, fear your master. وَاخْشَوْا يَوْمًا, and fear a day, لَا يَجْزِي وَالِدٌ عَنْ وَلَدِهِ, fear a day when no father can لَا يَجْزِي وَالِدٌ عَنْ وَلَدِهِ, no father can repay for his son. Well, meaning no one can benefit each other. وَلَا مَوْلُودٌ for the father. عَنْ وَلَدِهِ شَيْئًا إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ, verily the promise of Allah is true. فَلَا تَغُرَّنَّكُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا, let the worldly life do not deceive you. وَلَا يَغُرَّنَّكُمْ بِاللَّهِ الْغَرُورِ, let you not be deceived by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what does this mean, to be deceived by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That having false beliefs on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that saying that Allah is forgiving, Allah is having these false hopes that Allah will forgo all of these things. that they forget the fact that Allah is also Shadidul Iqab. Before He says Ghafurur Rahim, Allah says He's Shadidul Iqab, that is severe in punishment. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ السَّاعَةِ. Now this ayah, final ayah of Surah Luqman, brings the 5 unseen that only Allah has power over. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ السَّاعَةِ. Only with Allah lies the knowledge of the hour. When the day of judgment, only Allah knows. The first unseen. Second, وَيُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثِ. Only Allah knows the rain. When He sends down the rain, only He knows. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْأَرْحَامِ. And only He knows what is in the womb. What is in the womb of the mother. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا. And number 4, no soul knows what they will get tomorrow, what it will earn tomorrow. What is your tomorrow? What is your next 5 seconds look like? You don't know. No one knows, only Allah knows. That's the 4th thing Allah knows. And وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. And no soul knows on which land they will die. Where they will die, where your mouth is written, you don't know. So these are the 5 unseen that only Allah has knowledge of. Inna Allah alimun khabir. Verily Allah is all-knowing and all-aware. So that brings us to the end of Surah Luqman. So here we see that wisdom and Luqman Hakim's advice to his son, and then just call to reflect over the nature. That if you're not able to get guidance from the ayat, at least reflect over the nature. And know that you're so weak that from the time you're born till your death, Allah has power over all things. That how you are in the womb, you don't know. And where you will die, you don't know. Everything is in Allah's control. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We move on to the next surah, Surah as-Sajdah. Surah as-Sajdah means prostration. So this surah has Sajdah in it, and this surah, the Prophet ﷺ used to recite this every Friday at Fajr time. Right? In Fajr, in the first rak'ah, he would recite Surah Sajdah, and in second rak'ah, he would recite Surah Insan. So this surah is very important, and this surah teaches humility in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, this surah reminds a lot about the Day of Judgment, reminds the human beings about the Day of Judgment. Why? Because we know the Day of Judgment will come on a Friday, and so the Prophet will begin with this surah, reminding them himself about the Day of Judgment and what to do, how to prepare for this day. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It is a Makki surah. Alif Lam Mim, Huruf al-Muqatta'at, we don't know their meaning. Tanzilul Kitabi la rayba fihi min Rabbil Alameen. It is a revelation. This is sending down of the book. La rayba fi. There is no doubt in this book from the Lord of all beings. Am yaquluna iftara. Are they saying that he has fabricated this book? Are the disbelievers saying the Prophet ﷺ made up this book? بَلْ هُوَ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. No, this is the truth from your master. لِتُنْذِرَ قَوْمًا مَا أَتَاهُمْ. So that this book can warn a nation that came before. لِتُنْذِرَ قَوْمًا مَا أَتَاهُمْ مِنْ نَذِيرٍ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَهْتَدُونَ. So that this book can warn a nation who did not have any warner before, so that they may receive guidance. Allahu alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal-ard. Allah is the one who created the heavens and the earth and whatever is between them. في ستة أيام, in 6 days, in 6 periods. ثم استوى على العرش. Then he rose on top of the throne. ما لكم من دونه من ولي. You don't have any protective friend or ولا شفيع or an intercessor besides Allah. أفلا تتذكرون. Will you not bear in mind? يدبر الأمر. Allah is the one who manages the affairs and regulates all things. من السماء إلى الأرض. From the heavens to the earth. ثم يعرج إليه. Then everything will go up to him. يدبر الأمر من السماء إلى الأرض. He is the one who regulates and takes care of all the things from heavens to the earth. That his all the commands, everything, what you will eat, who will get the rain, who will die where, every single thing is decided in the heavens, and they come down to the earth, and it is executed in the earth. And then ثم يعرج إليه في يوم كان مقداره ألف سنة مما تعدون. And every single thing, all matters will return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a day when كان مقداره ألف سنة. Its measure is going to be 1,000 years of what you count. That day, one day is going to be 1,000 years. ذَلِكَ عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ. That is the knower of the unseen. عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ وَالشَّهَادَةِ. The knower of the unseen and the seen. Al-Aziz al-Rahim. The Almighty and the most merciful. الذي أحسن كل شيء خلق, and the one who has perfected the creation, وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين, and he is the one who began the creation from clay. The creation of mankind, he started from clay. ثم جعل نسله, then he set his progeny من سلالة من ماء مهين, from a fluid, من سلالة out of a breed of a fluid which is despicable, right? So then first human creation started from the clay, and then it continued through this reproduction. ثم سواه, and he shaped the human being. ونفخ فيه من روحه, and he blew his ruh into the human being. وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة, he gave him hearing and eyesight and hearts. قليلا ما تشكرون, but he is not thankful at all. So this surah in the beginning, last surah we talked about shukr, and here we see Allah has given us hearing. This is the greatest blessing of Allah, to hear something, to see something, and having a heart to think and make free choice. This is a blessing of Allah, but very few people are thankful. But what does it mean to be thankful? We talked about this before. To thank means you use all these body parts in service of Allah, for the work, in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you hear what Allah wants you to hear, that you see what Allah wants you to see, you think and do things that Allah wants you to do. But when you use the same ears to disobey Allah, to listen to things that you're not supposed to, and see things you're not supposed to, then that is kufr. But قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ, how little is what you are thankful of. وَقَالُوا, and they say, أَإِذَا ضَلَلْنَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, that when we are lost in the earth, when we become dust, أَإِنَّا لَفِي خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ, that will be brought back to life after we are dust. بَلْ هُمْ بِلِقَاءِ رَبِّهِمْ كَافِرُونَ, rather they are disbelieving in the meeting of their master. قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ, tell them that the Malakul Maut will take their soul. الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ, that Malakul Maut which is assigned to you, which is given charge of you, is going to take your soul. ثُمَّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكُمْ تُرْجَعُونَ, then you will be returned to your Rabb. وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذِ الْمُجْرِمُونَ نَاكِسُوا رُؤُوسِهِمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, if only you will see on the day of judgment, if only you can see the culprits on the day of judgment, when they are going to lower their heads in front of their master. رَبَّنَا, they will say, أَبْصَرْنَا, we have seen, وَسَمِعْنَا, and we have heard, فَرْجِعْنَا نَعْمَلْ صَالِحًا إِنَّا مُوقِنُونَ, send us back to this dunya so that we can do righteous deeds. إِنَّا مُوقِنُونَ, now we have believed. That Allah has given you eyesight and ears in this dunya so you can see and come to the conclusion, but when you go on the day of judgment, it's going to be too late. That today is the time, today is the test, not tomorrow. So they will say, return us so we can do righteous deeds. Now we have seen everything. And they will say, وَلَوْ شِئْنَا لَآتِينَا كُلَّ نَفْسٍ هُدَاهَا. So Allah says, had we willed, we would have given guidance to every single one of them. وَلَكِنْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ مِنِّي, but a word has become due on me, that I have given them the choice. That these are not like angels, these are not like other creations. Humankind is the highest of all of them, highest and the best, and Allah has given them the choice to do whatever they want. Allah has not given them all the same guidance, but Allah has given the signs and the tools to receive guidance. وَلَأَمْلَأَنَّ جَهَنَّمَ مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ أَجْمَعِينَ, that Allah already knows that most people will not accept, so He's going to fill Jahannam with jinns and mankind all together. فَذُوقُوا بِمَا نَسِيتُمْ لِقَاءَ يَوْمِكُمْ هَذَا, so taste for what you forgot, that you forgot the meeting of your master, so taste this punishment today because you did not care about it. إِنَّا نَسِينَاكُمْ, and so we don't care about you today. وَذُوقُوا عَذَابَ الْخُلْدِ, and taste the punishment of eternity. بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, because of what you used to do. إِنَّمَا يُؤْمِنُ بِآيَاتِنَا إِذَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهَا, verily the believers are those when the ayat of Allah are reminded to them, are recited unto them and they're reminded of them, خَرُّوا سُجَّدًا, they fall in prostration to Him, وَسَبَّحُوا بِحَمْدِ رَبِّهِمْ, and they glorify His praise, وَهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ, and they're not arrogant for that. Let's do sajdah. Then Allah continues describing the believers. تَتَجَافَى جُنُوبُهُمْ عَنِ الْمَضَاجِعِ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا. There are those whose sides have withdrawn from their beds. Right? They have left their comfort of their beds. They have come, and risen up fil madaji' from their beds. يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ, making dua to Allah, خوفا وطمعا, in fear and in hope. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ, and they provide from what Allah has given them. So there are those people in the night, they are not sleeping. كَانُوا قَلِيلًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ مَا يَهْجَعُونَ. They only used to sleep very less in the night. And what were they doing, these people? They are praying to Allah, khawf, fear of Jahannam, and hoping for Allah's reward. The Prophet ﷺ says that there are three things that will take a person to Jannah. Right? أفشوا السلام وأطعموا الطعام وصلوا بالليل والناس نيام تدخلون الجنة بالسلام. Allah says that you spread peace. أفشوا السلام. Say salam to whoever you see, whether you know that person or you don't know that person. Say salam. أفشوا السلام وأطعموا الطعام, and feed the poor. Spend from what Allah has given you. And صلوا بالليل والناس نيام, and pray when everybody else is sleeping. Then you will enter Jannah in peace. Right? So here we see these people, they are praying in the night and they're also spending from what Allah has given them. فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ. No soul knows what is hidden for them from the delight of His eyes. That you don't know what you will get as a surprise, Allah is saying. It's a surprise. You have not seen the pleasure and the reward of your good deeds. جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. As a reward for what they used to do. أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا. The one who is believer, can he be like the one who is sinful? لَا يَسْتَوُونَ. Not at all, they cannot be equal. أَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. As for the one who believes, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and he does righteous deeds, فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْمَأْوَى. He will have a garden where he will live, his habitation. نُزُلًا بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. This is in hospitality for what they used to do. Just the beginning of just a glimpse of what they will actually get. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا. And as for those who were sinful and who were crossing Allah's boundaries, فَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارِ. Their place is going to be now fire. كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا. Every single time they intend, أَرَادُوا أَن يَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا أُعِيدُوا فِيهَا. Every time they intend to come out of Jahannam, they will be returned into it. قِيلَ لَهُمْ ذُوقُوا عَذَابَ النَّارِ الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ. It will be said to them, taste the punishment of fire because of what you used to disbelieve and reject in. وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُمْ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى. We will surely make them taste a lesser punishment. دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ. Before a greater punishment. Before they face the punishment of the hereafter, they will face punishment in this dunya. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. Perhaps they will return. I just talked about this in Surah Rum, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make them taste some punishment in this dunya. These calamities will come so that through those things you learn and rectify yourself before you face the greater torment of the hereafter. And someone asked this question earlier, that if I go through difficulties in my life, does that mean I will have an easy life in the hereafter? Yes, the people who were beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the toughest lives. You see, the prophets had the toughest lives. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted them to have a high status. And we have our sins. All of us commit sins. And the expiation of those sins can happen in this dunya, or in the grave, or in the hereafter. But it's better that we get everything cleared in this dunya. So having a tough life means expiation of the sins in this dunya and easy life in the hereafter. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمْ. And who can be more unjust مِمَّنْ ذُكِّرَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِ ثُمَّ أَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا. Who can be more unjust than the one who is reminded of Allah's ayat, then he turns away from them. Inna min al-mujrimina muntaqimun. And we are going to punish those people who are committing crimes. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ. And in fact, we gave Musa alayhi salam the book. فَلَا تَكُنْ فِي مِرْيَةٍ مِّن لِقَائِهِ. Do not be in any doubt about its meeting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَجَعَلْنَاهُ هُدًى لِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلِ. And we made it as a guidance for Bani Israel. وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا. And we made them leaders, يَهْدُونَ بِأَمْرِنَا, who are guiding by our command. لَمَّا صَبَرُوا. As long as they were patient. وَكَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا يُوقِنُونَ. And they had firm yaqeen in our ayat. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ. Verily your master, هُوَ يَفْصِلُ بَيْنَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فِيمَا كَانُوا فِيهِ يَخْتَلِفُونَ. Your master will judge between them on the day of judgment and about what they used to disagree in. أَوَلَمْ يَهْدِ لَهُمْ. Is it not guidance for them? كَمْ أَهْلَكْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. How many nations we have destroyed before them? مِنَ الْقُرُونَ. Of generations. يَمْشُونَ فِي مَسَاكِنِهِمْ. They're walking in the same homes. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ. In it are many, many miraculous signs. أَفَلَا يَسْمَعُونَ. Will they not listen? أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا. Didn't they see? When is this day of decision? When is this يَوْمُ الْفَتْحِ, the day when all matters will be decided? If you are truthful, قُلْ. Tell them, يَوْمُ الْفَتْحِ, the day of decision. لا ينفع الذين كفروا إيمانهم. When that day comes, having iman on that day will not help. وهم ولا هم ينظرون. And they will not be given any time. That you're asking for that day, but when that day comes, it's not going to benefit you, and you will not be given any time to have iman. فأعرض عنهم. So turn away from them, Ya Rasulullah. وانتظر. And wait. إنهم منتظرون. Verily they are waiting. You keep waiting, and they're also waiting for the punishment to come. But we'll see what happens. So فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ. So turn away from them. So that brings us to the end of Surah Sajdah. Alhamdulillah. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should all memorize this surah and make it part of our life, and read this in Fajr time especially. A lot of virtues. Like the Prophet ﷺ used to recite it, so we should also follow it, inshallah. So take a short break for Asr. Then after Asr it's going to be a heavy surah. Surah Ahzab will need a lot of time. So inshallah, I'll quickly finish Asr. Be back. Jazakallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. يا أيها النبي اتق الله ولا تطع الكافرين والمنافقين إن الله كان عليما حكيما واتبع ما يوحى إليك من ربك إن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي نستغفر الله ربنا من كل ذنب ونتوب إليه ربنا زدنا علما اللهم يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we continue inshallah, Surah Ahzab. Surah Ahzab is Surah number 33. Ahzab comes from the word Hizb, which means group. So this Surah means, Ahzab means groups or confederates. So why is this Surah called groups? Because this Surah talks about Battle of Ahzab in the beginning. So Battle of Ahzab happened, it's the third big battle that happened. So Badr was the first one, then Uhud, then Ahzab. In Ahzab, after Uhud, so Uhud, the Mushrikeen were victorious. So after Uhud, they were thinking, okay, let's just, we have the strength, let's go to Medina and completely destroy the Muslims and surround Medina and kill them. So they made this plan, and some of the Jewish tribes also came and they joined the Muslims. So some of the Jewish tribes also joined the Mushrikeen, and they said, okay, that's a good idea. So a lot of the groups got together. This was called the Battle of Groups. So they all came together, about 10,000 people. They marched to Medina to completely destroy the Muslims. There were only like 1,000 of them. So what happens then, the Prophet ﷺ asked the Sahabas what they should do, and Salman al-Farsi, he gives a suggestion that we should dig a trench. So a trench was dug, and this is also called Battle of Khandaq, or Battle of Trench. Okay, it's the same, another word which means a ditch or trench. So that was dug, and so here what happened, all the things surrounding that battle is mentioned in this surah. So this talks about Battle of Ahzab, and what happened is during this time, the Mushrikeen obviously could not cross into Medina because there was a trench that was preventing them. So they camped out for like 2 months, and eventually, and during this time they also tried to go from the back door. So if you think about Medina, the back of Medina, so on two sides you had these mountains and valleys, prevented anybody from entering from the two sides. So the back side of Medina was the north side was covered, was the castles, right, and the palaces of the Jews, Banu Qurayza castles. So no one could enter from the back, and the only place they could enter from was from the front, and they dug the trench there. And so they made a treaty with the Jewish tribe, saying that you should not let anybody come in. They already had the treaty from a long time ago that they are going to defend Medina together. And so the Banu Qurayza, the Jewish tribe, they said, okay, fine, we'll be with you. So during this time, they actually betrayed the Muslims. So they broke the covenant, and they were about to leave the mushrikeen from the back door also. So Muslims were about to be surrounded completely, and they were about to be destroyed. And Prophet ﷺ talks to them during this time, and they're like, we don't know who you are. Who's the messenger? We don't know. And they're about to send. And during this time, you had Nu'aym radiallahu anhu, who comes and he breaks the groups. He goes and says something to one group, and goes and says something to the other group, and the groups break up. And after 2 months, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends an army, and the army was wind. Allah sends so much wind that they could not stay there for some time, and so they all leave. So as we go through the surah, the ayat, inshallah, I'm going to highlight what happened exactly. So that's the background. So this surah also talks about how the last tribe, the Jewish tribe, Banu Qurayza, how they were expelled. So there were three tribes in Medina, right? Banu Nadir, Banu Qaynuqa, and Banu Qurayza. So we are talking about Banu Qurayza, the last tribe that was left in Medina, that is also expelled after Ahzab. That the Prophet ﷺ, after Ahzab, he didn't even remove his armor. That angels came and said, Ya Rasulullah, the angels have not put their swords down. You should not either. You should take the believers and go to Banu Qurayza's castle and take care of them. So the Prophet ﷺ makes the announcements that we will not pray Asr until we reach the castles of Banu Qurayza. So that is also talked about in this surah. So in this surah, laws regarding adoption is mentioned, laws regarding marriage, divorce, hijab, and also when people come to your house, an invitation. When you are invited, what are the etiquettes? How long should you stay? When should you come? All of that is also talked about in this surah. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So before we start the surah, there's one thing you have to understand about adoption and all that. So the Prophet ﷺ, he had a son, an adopted son. His name was Zayd bin Haritha. And so what he does is that he changes his name. First he frees him. He was a slave, but he frees him and he makes him independent. That was a big favor of Prophet ﷺ on Zayd, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that in the surah. And then after that, what happens, he says to everybody, this is not Zayd bin Haritha, this is Zayd bin Muhammad. He is Zayd, the son of Muhammad. And ayat reveals saying, no, Ya Rasulullah, you cannot change the father of anybody. Adopted son is an adopted son, it can be your own son. And in the Arab tradition, if you say adopted son, that means he's your own son. And so what happened is, because of that, a lot of the relationships became haram. So Zayd bin Haritha, what happens, he marries Zainab radiallahu anha. And when he married Zainab radiallahu anha, Zainab radiallahu anha was from an elite family, and Zayd was a freed slave. So they had some kind of disagreement, and so that marriage happened to show that there is nothing about class or anything. Everybody is equal in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That marriage happened, and then they could not stay for long. In a year or two, they separated. Zayd and Zainab radiallahu anha, they separated. And then the Prophet ﷺ was commanded to marry Zainab radiallahu anha, to show that an adopted son is an adopted son, not a real son. Therefore, the former wife or the divorced wife of the adopted son is halal for you. Right? If it's not the case, then you cannot marry. If it was a real son, you cannot marry the wife of your real son. Right? So that's not allowed. But in this case, through this, Allah showed to the ummah that it is okay, adopted son cannot be a real son. And a lot of people started accusing the Prophet ﷺ. Oh, look at this father, he kind of put something in the son, and he made the son divorce the wife, and then he himself married Zainab radiallahu anha. They started pointing fingers at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they started saying things like, oh, how can he marry the daughter of his own son, even though he's an adopted son? They're saying, how can he make the wife of his own son? All these things they start bringing up. So Allah subhanahu brings and comes to his defense. Ya ayyuhan nabi, oh the Prophet, ittaqillah, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa la tuti' al-kafirina wal munafiqeen. Do not follow the disbelievers and the hypocrites. Inna Allah kana aliman khabira. Verily Allah is all-knowing and all-wise. That you should not be scared of them. Do not follow them. Let them think whatever they want to think. You should follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاتَّبِعْ مَا يُوحَى إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. Follow whatever we are communicating to you. Whatever commands and instructions has come from your master. Inna Allah kana bima ta'maluna khabira. Verily your master is fully aware. وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. And put your trust in Allah. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. And Allah is sufficient as a guardian. ما جعل الله لرجل من قلبين في جوفه. Allah says Allah has not placed two hearts inside a man, to show that one man cannot have heart of iman and heart of nifaq. That you are a believer or a munafiq. You cannot be two things. Allah is saying Allah has not put two hearts inside the jawf of a man. ما جعل الله ما جعل أزواجكم اللائي تظاهرون منهن أمهاتكم. And Allah also says that your wives are not like your mothers. So this is also neglecting the law of zihar. One of the Arab practices was that they would say, you are like the back of my mother, right? To show that you are haram to me just like my mother is haram on me. So they would do this, so they would put the woman in the middle. So Allah is saying, مَا جَعَلَ اللَّهُ وَمَا جَعَلَ أَزْوَاجَكُمُ اللَّائِي تُظَاهِرُونَ مِنْهُنَّ أُمَّهَاتِكُم. Your wives cannot be compared to the backs of your mothers. وَمَا جَعَلَ أَدْعِيَاءَكُمْ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ. And your adopted sons cannot be your own sons. ذَلِكُمْ قَوْلُكُمْ بِأَفْوَاهِكُمْ. That is something you're saying from your mouth. وَاللَّهُ يَقُولُ الْحَقِّ وَهُوَ يَهْدِي السَّبِيلِ. Allah is speaking the truth and He guides you to the straight path. أُدْعُوهُمْ لِآبَائِهِمْ. And call those adopted sons by their fathers. أُدْعُوهُمْ لِآبَائِهِمْ. Don't say he's Zayd bin Muhammad, he's Zayd bin Haritha. And there's a hadith on this, the Prophet ﷺ says, paradise is forbidden for the one who called himself son of another person and not referring to his father. If you say, my name is Junaid and my father's, I use a different name instead of my own father's name, paradise is haram on that person. هُوَ أَقْسَطُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. That you calling them by their fathers is more just in the sight of Allah. فَإِن لَمْ تَعْلَمُوا. But if you do not, فَإِن لَمْ تَعْلَمُوا آبَاءَهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ. But if you don't know their fathers, then they are brothers in deen. If you don't know, it's okay, but don't call them, he's your son, he's your brothers in deen. وَمَوَالِيكُمْ. And your close friends. وَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ فِيمَا أَخْطَأْتُمْ bihi. There is no sin upon you if you say something by mistake. That the Prophet ﷺ said he's Zayd bin Muhammad by mistake, that's okay, there's no sin upon you. أَخْطَأْتُمْ وَلَكِنْ مَا تَعَمَّدَتْ قُلُوبُكُمْ. But you will be held accountable for what your hearts agree. Like you intentionally, after knowing you do it, then you will be held accountable. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. And Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. النَّبِيُّ أَوْلَى بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. That the Prophet is supposed to be close to the believers in their own selves. That we are supposed to love the Prophet more than ourselves. Like Umar radiallahu anhu says, Ya Rasulullah, I love you more than my children, my family, my everything, except myself. I love myself. I cannot love you more than myself. And the Prophet says, O Umar, you cannot be a true believer unless you love me more than yourself. And then Umar says, give me some time, Ya Rasulullah, give me some time. He goes on the side, he thinks about it, what that means. And then he comes and he says, now Rasulullah, I believe, I love you more than myself. Now you have full iman. That we need to have iman. And these people, when they say something, it's not just a saying, they actually mean it. That's why it took time to understand what that means. Is you are more beloved to me than everything, even myself. And then Allah says, النَّبِيُّ أَوْلَى بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَأَزْوَاجُهُ أُمَّهَاتُهُم. And the wives of the Prophet ﷺ are their mothers. That means they cannot marry anyone. Nobody can marry them after, because they're mothers. You cannot marry your mothers. So all of them are your mothers. أَزْوَاجُهُ أُمَّهَاتُهُم وَأُولُو الْأَرْحَامِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلَى بِبَعْضٍ فِي كِتَابِ اللَّهِ. But the blood relations that you have within each other are more closer in the sight of Allah. That the blood relations are closer than anything else. مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُهَاجِرِينَ. Then believers and the muhajirin. Right? The blood relations are more beloved, are more closer to you than the believers, no matter how close they are, and the muhajirin. إِلَّا أَن تَفْعَلُوا إِلَىٰ أَوْلِيَائِكُمْ مَعْرُوفًا. However, you can do any good you wish to your friends. You can do whatever good you want, but your friends or your close people or your family members. وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَسْطُورًا. That is something written in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذَا أَخَذْنَا مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ مِيثَاقَهُمْ. And when we took a oath oath from the prophets, وَمِنْكَ and from you, وَمِن نُوح and from Nuh, وَإِبْرَاهِيم وَمُوسَى وَعِيسَى وَابْنِ Maryam, from Ibrahim, from Musa, Isa and the son of Maryam, Isa alayhi salam. وَأَخَذْنَا مِنْهُمْ مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا and we took a firm covenant from them. لِيَسْأَلَ الصَّادِقِينَ عَنْ صِدْقِهِمْ that the truthful ones will be asked about their truthfulness. وَأَعَدَّ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا and Allah has prepared a painful punishment for those who disbelieve. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا O you who have believed, اذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ remember Allah's favor unto you. إِذْ جَاءَتْكُمْ جُنُودًا when an army came unto you. فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ رِيحًا and we sent against them a wind. وَجُنُودًا لَمْ تَرَوْهَا and an army that you could not see. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرًا and Allah is in full view of what you do. This is in reference to Ahzab. The armies came and Allah sent them away by just wind and an army that they could not see, nobody could see, and Allah protected them. That's the favor of Allah on us even, he says. To us, how is Ahzab a favor? Because if the Prophet and the Muslims were destroyed in that battle, then Islam would not have reached us. So it's a favor on you as well. إِذْ جَاءُوكُم مِّن فَوْقِكُم when they came above you, وَمِنْ أَسْفَلَ مِنْكُم and from below you, وَإِذْ زَاغَتِ الْأَبْصَارِ and your eyes turned away, وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرِ and your hearts came to your throats out of panic and anxiety. That's the feeling they had, that they surrounded them from all sides. This army of 10,000, you just started watching, your eyes could not blink and your hearts came to your throats out of beating so fast. وَتَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ الظُّنُونَ and you started thinking that Allah will not help you and having these false thoughts. هُنَالِكَ بِتُلِيَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ that's where we tested the believers. وَزُلْزِلُوا زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا and we shook them a severe shaking. إِذْ يَقُولُ الْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ and the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, and in those hearts and the people who had diseases in their heart, they said, مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ إِلَّا غُرُورًا whatever Allah and His Messenger has promised is only deception. All the Quran, all of the promises that Allah and His Messenger made, that's all lies. Look at here, we're about to die. Well, I told you this religion is not the truth. That's what they start saying. إِذْ قَالَتْ طَائِفَةٌ مِّنْهُمْ and a group among them start saying, Ya Ahla Yathrib, O people of Yathrib, is the old name of Medina. O people of Yathrib, La muqama lakum farji'u, do not stay here, go back, go and take your positions and hide yourself. You're going to be defeated. You cannot fight against this huge army. وَيَسْتَأْذِنُ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ and a group of them sought the permission from the Prophet ﷺ to leave. They made up excuses. يَقُولُونَ they're saying, إِنَّ بُيُوتَنَا عَوْرًا our houses are insecure. We left our family and children there, Ya Rasulullah. I forgot to lock. Or I forgot to turn off the stove, Can I go back quickly and do this, Ya Allah, Ya Rasulullah? The rice will boil. Right? All these weird excuses. إِنَّ بُيُوتَنَا عَوْرًا وَمَا هِيَ بِعَوْرًا they were not insecure. إِن يُرِيدُونَ إِلَّا فِرَارًا they only wanted to run away from this. Right? And this is, we see that people who are hypocrites, that people who have people of weak iman, they will bring excuses to work for the deen. You tell them there's so much work need to be done, and you tell them, please do something, and put your time, put your effort, put your money, everything. They will bring excuses. Oh, I have job, I have work, I have studies. They will bring all kinds of excuses to stay away from this deen. وَلَوْ دُخِلَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ أَقْطَارِهَا and if they were made to enter against them, if the enemies came from all sides, from أقطارها ثم سئلوا الفتنة and if they were made to cause treachery in the land, لآتوها they would have done it. That if enemies are coming and they had the chance to deceive the Muslims, they will do it. وَمَا تَلَبَّثُوا بِهَا إِلَّا يَسِيرًا and they would not even hesitate except a few. وَلَقَدْ كَانُوا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ مِنْ قَبْلِ and indeed Allah has made a covenant before this, لَا يُوَلُّونَ الْأَدْبَارِ that they would not turn their backs. They made a covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they would not turn against the Muslims. They'll come together and work together. وَكَانَ عَهْدُ اللَّهِ مَسْئُولًا and the covenant of Allah is going to be questioned. قُلْ لَنْ يَنْفَعَكُمُ الْفِرَارِ that tell them that you running away is not going to help you. إِن فَرَرْتُم مِّنَ الْمَوْتِ if you are running from death, أو القتل or from being killed, إِذًا لَا تُمَتَّعُونَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا then you will not live for very long. You will enjoy for a little bit, you will die eventually. That you're running away from this, you running to your home, do you think you'll be safe? That they will come, and even if the Muslims are killed, you will be killed with them, right? They will reach you. Or if you escape from this battle to some other place, you will eventually die. قُلْ مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَعْصِمُكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ. Tell them, who is going to protect you against Allah? إِنْ أَرَادَ بِكُمْ سُوءًا أَوْ أَرَادَ بِكُمْ رَحْمَةً. If Allah intends to harm you, who will stop you from that? And if Allah intends to bring His mercy, who will stop you from that? وَلَا يَجِدُونَ لَهُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَلِيًّا وَلَا نَصِيرًا. And they will not find any helper or any friend besides Allah. قَدْ يَعْلَمُ اللَّهُ الْمُعَوِّقِينَ مِنْكُمْ. Allah already knows the mu'awwiqeen. Mu'awwiqeen are those people who prevent others from doing jihad and going and fighting for Allah's cause. Allah says, we already know those people. مِنْكُمْ وَالْقَائِلِينَ. And those people who are saying to their brothers, لِإِخْوَانِهِمْ هَلُمَّ إِلَيْنَا. Guys, don't go there. Come, chill out with us. وَلَا يَأْتُونَ الْبَأْسَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Even if they were to fight with you, they would not have fought except a few of them. Right? Allah is saying, first of all, they stop people from fighting, and they say, come and join us, do not go. And then, even if they were to fight, they would have only done a little bit. They would not have been of any benefit. أَشِحَّةً عَلَيْكُمْ. They're reluctant towards you. They don't want to join you in the battle. فَإِذَا جَاءَ الْخَوْفُ. And when the danger comes to them, رَأَيْتَهُمْ يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَيْكَ. You will see them looking at you. تَدُورُ أَعْيُنُهُمْ. Their eyes are rolling. كَالَّذِي يَغْشَى عَلَيْهِ مِنَ الْمَوْتِ. As if they are about to die, as if they are being on the point of death. That's how they feel. When something disaster, something bad happens, that's what they think, and they run away from it. مِنَ الْمَوْتِ فَإِذَا ذَهَبَ الْخَوْفُ. And when that evil or when that danger is gone, سَلَقُوكُمْ بِأَلْسِنَةٍ حِدَادٍ. They hurt you with their tongues, with the sharp tongue. So when the victory, let's say the battle's over and the Muslims are victorious, what do? They come and demand their right in the spoils of war, right? With the sharp tongue, they demand their right. Oh, we were just backing you up, we were giving you moral support, we're doing all of these things, we're being excuses, and they show their greed for gains, right? أَشِحَّةً عَلَى الْخَيْرِ. They're showing their greed in gains. أُولَٰئِكَ لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا. Those people don't believe. فَأَحْبَطَ اللَّهُ أَعْمَالَهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to turn all their deeds into nothingness. وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرًا. And that is easy for Allah to do. These are all the qualities of hypocrites. That is to see the true color of the community. Allah wants to see who is the true believer, who's going to be firm on the deen, and who's going to make excuses and run away from it. Right? يَحْسَبُونَ الْأَحْزَابَ لَمْ يَذْهَبُوا. They think that the Ahzab have not gone yet. وَإِنْ يَأْتِ الْأَحْزَابِ. And if the groups of the Ahzab or the army comes, يَوَدُّوا لَوْ أَنَّهُمْ بَادُونَ فِي الْأَعْرَابِ يَسْأَلُونَ عَنْ أَنْبَائِكُمْ. So that if they know that the army is there, and if they come upon them, they wish to be in the desert among the Bedouins and seek information about you from there. Right? That's what they would wish. They don't want to be with you. They want to be somewhere lost in the desert with the Bedouins, and just kind of know what's happening from the back. لَوْ كَانُوا فِيكُمْ مَا قَاتَلُوا إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Even if they were with you, they would not have fought only a little bit. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Verily, in the Messenger of Allah, there is the best example for you. لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرَ آخِرَ وَذَكْرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. For the one who hopes to meet Allah and for the last day, وَذَكْرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. And remembers Allah a lot. وَلَمَّا رَأَى الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. And when you see the believers, al-Ahzab, so when the believers see the groups, the Ahzab, the army outside Medina, what did they say? قَالُوا هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. This is what Allah and His Messenger has promised, and the promise of Allah and His Messenger is true. وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. And it only increases them in iman and submission. When they see this, they only become better believers. مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٌ. Among the believers are men. صَدَقُوا مَا عَهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ. Are those who proved their pledge, who proved true, who lived up to their pledge and the covenant they made. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ قَضَى نَحْبَهُ, and among them are those who fulfill their covenant. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَنْتَظِرُ, and among them are still waiting to fulfill their covenant. Meaning they're waiting for victory to come, or they're waiting to give up their life and become shaheed. وَمَا بَدَّلُوا تَبْدِيلًا, and they have not changed anything in their promise. لِيَجْزِيَ اللَّهُ الصَّادِقِينَ بِصِدْقِهِمْ, so that Allah can reward the truthful for their truthfulness. وَيُعَذِّبَ الْمُنَافِقِينَ, and that He might punish the hypocrites. إِنْ شَاءَ أَوْ يَتُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ, if He wills, He will punish them or He will forgive them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا, verily Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. وَرَدَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and Allah refused those people who disbelieve. بِغَيْظِهِمْ لَمْ يَنَالُوا خَيْرًا, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made these groups turn away from them, right? In anger, without having any advantage. Right? All these people came with full plan. The Jewish tribes, the Meccans, the Mushrikeen of Mecca, the Ghaftan tribes, all these different small. When they saw big tribes are going, all the small tribes joined. They're like, this is it, let's go and fight and finish them off. All of them came with the full intention, full preparation to destroy Medina. And look what happened. Nothing. They could not get anything from this. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refused them and returned them in anger without any goodness. وَكَفَى اللَّهُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الْقِتَالَ, Allah is sufficient to fight on behalf of the believers. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ قَوِيًّا عَزِيزًا, Allah is powerful and mighty. وَأَنزَلَ الَّذِينَ ظَاهَرُوهُمْ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ, and those people who were helping each other and aiding the other group from the people of the book. Who are these? The Jewish tribe, Banu Qurayza. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anzala, Allah destroyed them. He brought it down, min sayasihim, from their castles. So they were taking refuge and protection in the castles. And we know that the Quraysh came and they talked to them and they let them come from the back door. They're having these conversations. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after the battle of Ahzab, the Prophet ﷺ was told, Ya Rasulullah, do not put your sword, go right to the Banu Qurayza's castle and take care of them. So they go there, and Banu Qurayza were hiding inside, did not come for some time, and eventually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought them down. They surrendered to Prophet ﷺ. That's what Isa is saying, that Allah brought them down from their castles. وَقَذَفَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الرُّعْبِ, and there was panic and fear placed in their hearts. فَرِيقًا تَقْتُلُونَ وَتَأْسِرُونَ فَرِيقًا, a group you killed and a group you captivated. So what happened? They said, we will surrender, but Sa'ad radiallahu anh, Sa'ad bin Mu'az, he is going to judge between us. Sa'ad, the leader of Aus tribe, they had really good connections with the Quraysh, with the Banu Qurayza. So they said, whatever your decision is, we will not accept yours. We need Sa'ad to make the decision, because we think he's a fair judge. So Prophet agreed, and so Sa'ad bin Mu'az, he comes and he makes a judgment. And what does he do? He says that all the men from the Banu Qurayza should be killed. All the men who were there should be killed, and all the women and children should be should be given to the Muslims, and all their wealth will be distributed among the Muslims. That's the judgment he makes, and Prophet ﷺ was happy with that, and he says, Allah is pleased with you for this, Sa'ad. And so a group of them was killed, فَرِيقًا تَقْتُلُونَ, a group was killed, وَتَأْسِرُونَ فَرِيقًا, the other group became prisoners of war. وَأَوْرَثَكُمْ أَرْضَهُمْ وَدِيَارَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ وَأَرْضًا لَمْ تَطَئُوهَا, and Allah made you inherit their land and their houses and their properties. And Allah also gave you a land which you did not even go on, which is Khaybar. Right? It's coming up in the future. Allah says, we also gave you Khaybar, أَرْضًا لَمْ تَطَئُوهَا وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرًا, and Allah is in full control over all things. Ya ayyuhan nabi, O the Prophet, O the beloved Prophet, قُلْ لِأَزْوَاجِكَ, tell your wives, إِن كُنْتُنَّ تُرِيدْنَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا, tell them that if they desire this worldly life, وَزِينَتَهَا, and its grandeur and its beautification, فَتَعَالَيْنَ, then they should come along, وَمَتِّعْكُنَّ, and tell them that I will let you enjoy for some time, وَأُسَرِّحْكُنَّ سَرَاحًا جَمِيلًا, and I will set you free after this. So this is in the context of the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. What happens is the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, after Ahzab, they were demanding a bit more household expenditure, like a bit more wealth to take care of their expenses, and kind of, they were wanting more things from the Prophet ﷺ, demanding more things. And the Prophet ﷺ did not have that much, and so he became sad and he was really tense. And then what happens then is that he leaves them for 1 month. He didn't talk to any of them. And then at that time these ayat are revealed, saying, Ya Rasulullah, tell your wives that if they want this worldly life and the beautification of it, then sure, we'll give you whatever you want, and then after that you will be divorced, you'll be let, you will go home. But وَإِن كُنْتُنَّ تُرِيدْنَ اللَّهِ, but tell them, you give them this option, but if you want to desire Allah, وَرَسُولَهُ, and His Messenger, وَالدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ, and you want the hereafter, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ أَعَدَّ لِلْمُحْسِنَاتِ مِنْ كُنَّ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا, then Allah has prepared for those people who do righteous deeds a great reward. Your choice, what do you want to do? And so the Prophet ﷺ gave this option. It's called takhir, right? Takhir, that he gave this option, whatever you want. And at that time he had 4 wives, Sauda radiallahu anha, Aisha radiallahu anha, Hafsa radiallahu anha, and Salama. So he started from Aisha radiallahu anha, gave the option, and he says, you go consult with your parents, tell me what you want to do. And so Aisha radiallahu anha, she says, I will not go to my parents, I know what I want, I will bear, I'll sacrifice, and I want the hereafter. I'm doing this for the hereafter. I want to be your wife in this dunya and in the hereafter. And so all of them agreed to stay and sacrifice with Rasulullah ﷺ. So that's the option that was given. Ya Nisa an-Nabi, O the wives of the Prophet, Man yati min kunna bi fahishatin mubayyina, whoever does an evil, whoever does a fahisha amongst you, yudha'af laha al-'adhabu di'fayn, Allah is going to multiply their punishment for them. And this doesn't mean they did a fahisha, it doesn't mean they did an evil act, indecent act, but this is to show that if they do it, their punishment is going to be double. And we talked about this earlier, higher the status, greater the punishment. وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرًا, and that is very easy on Allah's part. وَمَنْ يَقْنُتْ مِنْ كُنَّا لِلَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, and whoever of you is obedient to Allah and His Messenger, talking to the wives, وَمَنْ يَقْنُتْ مِنْ كُنَّا لِلَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَتَعْمَلْ صَالِحًا, and does righteous deeds, نُؤْتِيهَا أَجْرَهَا مَرَّتَيْنِ, will give her twice the reward. Punishment is doubled, reward is also doubled, because you're higher the status, greater the punishment, and greater the reward. وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ وَأَعْتَدْنَا لَهَا رِزْقًا كَرِيمًا, and we have prepared for them a generous provision. Ya Nisa an-Nabi, O the wives of the Prophet, لَسْتُنَّ كَأَحَدٍ مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ, you are not like any other woman. إِنِ اتَّقَيْتُنْ, if you fear Allah, فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ, do not be soft in your speech. This is Allah teaching women how they should speak. Do not be soft in your speech. Do not have a speech that attracts the other gender. فَيَطْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَضٍ, so that in whose heart there is a disease, that person is attracted to you, has some hope, has some desires towards you, or has some evil thoughts in the way you speak. وَقُلْنَ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا, but speak to them an upright word. What we see here is that Islam is not stopping a woman from speaking to a man, but at the same time you speak upright, straight, قُولُوا قَوْلًا صَدِيدًا, right? Upright. We talked about this in Qasas as well, how the daughters of that person, probably Shu'aib alayhi salam, how they speak upright, straight. You speak like that, and do not, even in the way you text, if you're texting, or if you are, do not show that you're somehow, interested. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنْ, and you should stay in your homes. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for a woman, her spear should be her home. That's her world. But and if only she leaves when there's a need for it. And a man is the one who goes out and takes care of her, but she needs to stay at home and fortify the house and make sure the children are have the right knowledge of deen. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنْ, and stay in your homes. وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى, and do not display like the displaying of the arrogant ones, the ignorant ones in the past. So this is, in the past, they would show off. What Allah is saying is that do not show your beauty. What this means is having strong perfume to attract the other gender, or wearing attractive clothes, or catchy clothes, or like making noise with heels, or anything that grabs attention. وَلَا تَبَرُّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةَ, and establish salah, وَأَتِينَا الزَّكَاةَ, and give zakah, وَأَطِعْنَا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, and obey Allah and His Messenger. إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ, Allah wants to remove remove any blemish, any filth from you, O people of the household. وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. Allah wants to purify all of you. وَاذْكُرْنَ مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُمْ. What is the woman doing at home? She's remembering. And Allah is saying, and remember whatever is recited unto you in your homes, min ayatillah, from Allah's signs, wal hikmah, and His wisdom. Inna Allah kana latifan khabira. Verily your master is subtle and all aware. That every household should be a school. Right? Every woman should take their kids and family and teach them and educate them and remind them of Allah's ayat and remind themselves of Allah's ayat in the home. And this is the real job of the woman. Innal muslimina wal muslimat. Verily, believing men and believing women. Wal mu'minina wal mu'minat. Actually, Muslim men and Muslim women. Mu'minina wal mu'minat. Believing men and believing women. Wal qanitina wal qanitat. And obedient men and obedient women. Wal sadiqina wal sadiqat. Truthful men and truthful women. والصابرين والصابرات, the patient men and patient women, والخاشعين والخاشعات, and humble men and humble women, والمتصدقين والمتصدقات, charitable men and charitable women, والصائمين والصائمات, and the fasting men and fasting women, والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات, and the men who guard their private parts and the women who do the same, والذاكرين الله كثيرا, and the men who remember Allah a lot, والذاكرات, and the women who remember Allah a lot. أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما. Allah has prepared for all these people forgiveness and a great reward. ما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون لهم الخيرة من أمرهم. It is not befitting for a believing man and a believing woman to make a choice, make a decision after Allah and His Messenger have decided something. وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا. Whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he has gone astray from the straight path in clear misguidance. وَإِذْ تَقُولُ لِلَّذِي أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَأَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِ. And when you said, إِذْ تَقُولُ, when you said to الَّذِي أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ, to the one whom Allah has favored. Who is this? Zayd bin Harith. And Allah has favored him by giving him in Islam. وَأَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِ, and even you favored him, meaning Rasulullah also favored him by freeing him. Right? That person, when you said to him, أَمْسِكْ عَلَيْكَ زَوْجَكَ, keep your wife, do not divorce her. When you said this, وَاتَّقِ اللَّهِ, and you said to him, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَتُخْفِي فِي نَفْسِكَ مَا اللَّهِ, and you were concealing inside yourself, مَا اللَّهُ مُبْدِيهِ, what is Allah is going to make known. That when you were telling Zayd radiallahu anh to not divorce your wife, you had something inside you, you were hiding it inside you. وَتَخْشَى النَّاسِ, and you were fearing people. So what this is saying, a lot of people misinterpret this. What this is saying is that Allah already told Prophet ﷺ that if Zayd divorces Zainab radiallahu anha, then you will have to marry Zainab radiallahu anha. And the Prophet ﷺ did not like that. He was hesitant towards that because he was thinking, what will the people say? The community, the enemies will start pointing fingers at him more, saying that, look at this, he made his son divorce his own son, they will say, divorce his wife, and then he married himself. What a plan, he planned everything. Right? Or they will say, this person married the wife of his own son. So they will point fingers, and the Prophet did not like that. But Allah is saying, Allah is going to make that known. And وَتَخْشَى النَّاسِ, we're scared of the people. وَاللَّهُ أَحَقُّ أَن تَخْشَى, but Allah has more right that you should fear Him. فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِنْهَا وَطْرًا, and when Zayd terminated and completed, divorced her, meaning Zainab radiallahu anha, وَطْرًا زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا, so when he left her and completely had no desire for her, زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا, we gave her in marriage to you, لِكَيْ لَا يَكُونَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ حَرَجٌ, so the believers don't have any restrictions. So we made you marry Zainab radiallahu anha, so the believers after you don't feel that, oh, I cannot marry the divorced wife of my adopted son. So that restriction is removed. لكي لا يكون على المؤمنين حرج في أزواج أدعيائهم, about the wives of their adopted sons. إذا قضوا منهن وطرا, when they have completed their term. So when your adopted sons have completed their term, you are left, the iddah is over, then you can marry them. وَكَانَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ مَفْعُولًا. And this is a command of Allah that should be acted upon. مَا كَانَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ حَرَجٍ. And it is not, مَا كَانَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. There is no blame on the Prophet ﷺ فِيمَا فَرَضَ اللَّهُ لَهُ, in what Allah has ordained for him. Sunnat Allah. This is the practice of Allah. فِي الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِ. Regarding those who have passed before. وَكَانَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ قَدْرًا مَقْدُورًا. And Allah's command is destined to be decreed. الَّذِينَ يُبَلِّغُونَ رِسَالَاتِ اللَّهِ. And those who convey the messages of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَخْشَوْنَهُ. And they fear Him. وَلَا يَخْشَوْنَ أَحَدًا إِلَّا اللَّهِ. They don't fear anybody except Allah. Allah is telling the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rasulullah, you follow what I have revealed you. You should not be scared of the people. You follow, you fear me and nobody else. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ حَسِيبًا. Allah is sufficient as the one to take account. مَا كَانَ مُحَمَّدٌ أَبَا أَحَدٍ مِّن رِجَالِكُمْ. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is not the father of any of your men. This is مِّن رِجَالِكُمْ وَلَكِنْ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. However, he is a messenger of Allah. وَخَاتَمَ النَّبِيِّينَ. And he is a seal of prophethood. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمًا. And Allah is fully knowledgeable over all things. You know, Prophet ﷺ here, Allah is saying, Prophet ﷺ is not the father of Zayd. He is not, he can marry, he can do whatever he wants. He's not their father. That thing is removed. The people are saying, look, he married his own. That part is removed to show that Prophet ﷺ is not the father of Zayd radiallahu anhu. So marrying Zainab radiallahu anha is not bad. And here, so another problem they brought out is that why marry the divorced wife of his adopted son? Why did he marry Zainab radiallahu anha? He could have married somebody else. Why her? That means he had some evil intentions. So Allah is saying he is messenger of Allah. He's following Allah's command. It's not you who's doing it. It's Allah who's telling him to do what he wants to do. So Allah says, Rasulullah. And Khatam al-Nabiyyin, Allah says, He is the final messenger. So these laws need to be abolished and right things need to be said because there's nobody coming after to fix these laws. So that's why this thing happened. And Allah is full view of what Allah is fully knowledgeable of everything. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. O you who have believed. Udhkurullaha dhikran kathira. Remember Allah a lot, right? Dhikran kathira, day and night. And what does this mean? Dhikran kathira, day and night. That all du'as in and out, wherever you have the chance, you make du'a, dhikran kathira. Also, when prophets are being attacked, when your messenger is being attacked and his fingers are being pointed at him, then you should do the dhikr of Allah to protect yourself. وَسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَعَصِيلًا. And glorify His praise morning and evening. هو الذي يصلي عليكم. And Allah is the one who يصلي عليكم وملائكته, who sends His blessings onto you, and the angels also send blessings on who? The one who does dhikr. Allah and His messenger send blessings on him. ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور, so that He can take you out from darknesses to light. وكان بالمؤمنين رحيما. And Allah is always merciful towards the believers. تحيتهم يوم يلقونه سلام. Their greeting on that day they will meet Him is going to be peace, salam. وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا كَرِيمًا. And Allah has prepared a noble reward for those people. Ya ayyuhan nabi, O the beloved Prophet, إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ شَاهِدًا. We have sent you as a witness, وَمُبَشِّرًا وَنَذِيرًا, as a giver of good news and as a warner. وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ وَسِرَاجًا مُنِيرًا. And you call people by the command of Allah, and you are a lamp, a bright light, and a munira, and spreading light. وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And give good news to the believers, بِأَنَّ لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ فَضْلًا كَبِيرًا, that they will have a great bounty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا تُطِعِ الْكَافِرِينَ وَالْمُنَافِقِينَ. And do not follow the disbelievers and the hypocrites. وَدَعْ عَذَاهُمْ. Ignore their troublings and their hurt. وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. And rely on Allah. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. And Allah is sufficient as a guardian. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. O you who have believed, إِذَا نَكَحْتُمُ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. When you marry believing women, ثُمَّ طَلَّقْتُمُوهُنَّ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَن تَمَسُّوهُنَّ. And then you give divorce to them before even you touch them. فَمَا لَكُمْ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ عِدَّةٍ. They don't have any iddah, they don't have any waiting period. تَعْتَدُّونَهَا, that you count. فَمَتِّعُوهُنَّ So give them gifts and give them good things. وَسَرِّحُوهُنَّ صَرَاحًا جَمِيلًا, and free them in a decent way. Do not do zihar and do not keep them in the middle. Ya أَيُّهَا النَّبِي, O the Prophet, إِنَّا أَحْلَلْنَا لَكَ أَزْوَاجَكَ, we have made your wives lawful to you. You know, some people are bringing this thing against the Prophet ﷺ. Oh, look at this Prophet. He tells others that he can only hear what happened again in the context of Zainab radiallahu anha's marriage. A lot of people came in and they had a good feast. Alhamdulillah, Prophet ﷺ fed them in his walima. Everybody had a good feast. And most of them left, but some people were sitting down and just like chatting. And the Prophet ﷺ didn't want to tell them, please leave. Like, we just got married. It's time. So can you just leave? And so they could not. He didn't say them. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes and brings ayat telling the Muslim ummah that you should not hurt the Prophet ﷺ. So here are the laws of us going to other people's house. Allah is saying that do not enter the house of the Prophet ﷺ except when you're given the permission. إِلَى طَعَامٍ, for a meal. غَيْرَ نَاظِرِينَ إِنَاهُ, and don't be like those people. What some people would do is they would come early, like not mealtime, they would come just before mealtime, and they would just kind of wait to see are the guests gonna bring us some food? It's almost dinner time. They continue talking just so that they can have some food. A lot of people do this, right? So don't be like those people who just waiting to get some food. غَيْرَ نَاظِرِينَ إِنَاهُ وَلَكِنْ إِذَا دُعِيتُمْ فَدُخُلُوا, but when you are invited, then go. فَإِذَا طَعِمْتُمْ, but when you finish eating, فَانْتَشِرُوا, leave. Do not stay there. وَلَا مُسْتَأْنِثِينَ لِحَدِيثٍ, do not stay having these conversations within yourself. إِنَّ ذَلِكُمْ كَانَ يُؤْذِي النَّبِيِّ, it hurts the Prophet ﷺ, the conversations you have. فَيَسْتَحْيِي مِنْكُمْ, but he feels shy to talk to you. Right? He's not going to tell you, it's time, can you leave? Because the Prophet is shy. He's like that. But Allah is saying, وَاللَّهُ لَا يَسْتَحْيِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ, Allah is not shy from the truth. وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُنَّ مَتَاعًا فَاسْأَلُوهُنَّ مِنْ وَرَاءِ حِجَابٍ, and if you go to their homes, if you go to the homes of the Prophet ﷺ and you want to ask him for something, then ask them behind the hijab. That you're going to learn or going to have interaction with the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, you cannot talk to them in front. They can only speak behind a hijab, behind a curtain. مِنْ وَرَاءِ حِجَابٍ, that ذَلِكُمْ أَطْهَرُ لِقُلُوبِكُمْ وَقُلُوبِهِنْ, that is pure for your hearts and for their heart. وَمَا كَانَ لَكُمْ أَن تُؤْذُوا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ, it does not befit you that you hurt the Prophet ﷺ. وَلَا أَن تَنْكِحُوا أَزْوَاجَهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ أَبَدًا, and that you cannot marry his wives after him ever. إِنَّ ذَلِكُمْ كَانَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمًا, and that is a great sin in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِن تُبْدُوا شَيْئًا أَوْ تُخْفُوهُ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمًا, if you express something or conceal something, Allah is fully knowledgeable of that. لَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِنَّ, there is no sin on them. عليهن في آبائهن, the fathers. Who can they talk to? Who can a woman unveil her hijab in front of their آبائهن ولا أبنائهن, fathers, the sons, ولا إخوانهن, and their brothers, ولا أبناء إخوانهن, and the sons of their brothers, ولا أبناء أخواتهن, and the sons of their sisters, ولا نسائهن, and the women, the ladies, ولا ما ملكت أيمانهن, and those people who are under your control, like the slaves. وَاتَّقِينَ اللَّهِ, and beware of Allah and be conscious of Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ شَهِيدًا, verily Allah is witness over all things. إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَمَلَائِكَتَهُ يُصَلُّونَ عَلَى النَّبِيِّ, verily Allah and the angels send blessings upon the Prophet. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, O you who have believed, صَلُّوا عَلَيْهِ وَسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا, send blessings, greetings and blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ, verily those people who hurt Allah and His Messenger, لَعْنَهُمُ اللَّهُ, there is Allah's curse on them, فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ, in this dunya and in the hereafter. وَعَدَّ لَهُمْ عَذَابًا مُهِينًا, Allah has prepared a humiliating punishment for those people. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْذُونَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ, and those people who hurt believing men and believing women, بِغَيْرِ مَكْتَسَبُوا, without having any knowledge, فَقَدْ احْتَمَلُوا بُهْتَانًا وَإِثْمًا مُبِينًا, they carry the sin of slandering. They carry a sin of slandering someone. This is people telling things about the Prophet ﷺ. Do not do that. Ya ayyuhan nabi, O the Prophet, قُلْ لِأَزْوَاجِكَ, tell your wives, وَبَنَاتِكَ, and your daughters, وَنِسَاءِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and tell the wives of the believers, يُدْنِينَ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ جَلَابِيبِهِنَ. This is a key ayah. Allah says that they should lower their garment on in front of them. This means that they should draw a piece of cloth on their faces. Right? يُدْنِينَ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ جَلَابِيبِهِنَ, covering their faces like niqab, except leaving their eyes. Right? Also yudneen means like from the top, you have a scarf and you lower it from the top, right? Covering yourself. Like you have a cloth all the way here, so you can't see, just like a little bit for you to walk, right? يُدْنِينَ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنْ جَلَابِيبِهِنَ, or covering their faces. ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَنْ يُعْرَفْ, and that is better in terms of being known or being chaste. فَلَا يُؤْذَيْنَ, and so that they will not be molested or teased. So that this will prevent them from anybody hurting them. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا, and Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. لَإِن لَمْ يَنْتَهِ الْمُنَافِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ وَالْمُرْجِفُونَ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ, and the hypocrites, and in those hearts there is a disease, and those people who spread lies, if they don't stop, then لَنُغْرِيَنَّكَ بِهِمْ, we are going to overpower them. We will make you overpower them. ثُمَّ لَا يُجَابِرُونَكَ فِيهَا إِلَّا قَلِيلًا, and they will not be your neighbors except a few. That Allah is saying that if they continue to slander you and hurt you, Ya Rasulullah, then they will not be your, then we will overpower them, and they will not be your neighbors after this. مَلْعُونِينَ, they are cursed. أَيْنَمَا ثُقِفُوا أُخِذُوا وَقُتِّلُوا تَقْتِيلًا, wherever they are found, they will be seized and killed. قُتِّلُوا تَقْتِيلًا, and killed in execution. Sunnatullah, last ayah. Sunnatullah, this is the way of Allah. Sunnatullah alladhi fil ladina khalu min qabl. This is the way of Allah. This is the sunnah of Allah which has passed before. وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا, and you will not find any alternation in the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the surah has one last passage, inshallah we'll do that tomorrow. So sorry for going over time, I just really want to cover this, because without the context you won't be able to understand this. So I had the context, so instead of finishing. So here we see the Prophet ﷺ, how we should obey the Prophet ﷺ, how the hypocrites behave with the Prophet ﷺ, and how a woman and how a social life of a believer is meant to be lived. So inshallah we'll stop right here. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanallah al-azim. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا محمد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين.